finished Guardians. Like we finished Marvel.
You want to talk some Godzilla?
Oh yes, we need to talk about Godzilla.
So, Godzilla came out. I really liked it. How do you feel about the new Godzilla?
Okay, let's see. I felt it teased the fans a little too much.
I know, like, they showed, like, I think Godzilla was actually in it for about 15 minutes. Like, I came to that movie because I wanted to see Bryan Cranston and Godzilla, and I barely got both of them, you know?
Yeah, Bryan Cranston was one of the biggest reasons I went to go see that movie.
Yeah.
And
we barely got any of him.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of like, they had him there just so they could say he's there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Godzilla had one really cool scene where he first showed up, and then he had one amazing scene at the end, and then there was just a huge space in between with other monsters that weren't originally canon to the original Godzilla like monsters universe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of weird, and I felt kind of like it felt like it's not what I paid for. Like, I went to that movie because it was marketed like Godzilla everywhere, and then I went and saw it, and it was like, okay, not really Godzilla everywhere.
Yeah,
So I feel like this movie is going to be the Godzilla that I wanted to see, you know?
you know what it reminds me of? The Purge Anarchy came out, a while, I don't know if it was a while ago.
I think it was about a week or two ago.
Yeah, and the Purge Anarchy was basically everything people wanted the Purge to be. And I think it's going to be a similar situation with Godzilla. Like, what do you think of that?
Though I hear both Purge movies are bad. So. So as we were saying, the new thing for Godzilla is that they're going to have a bunch of the original monsters in it. So, like Mothra, Rodan. I think there may be one or two other. So
there was one more. I forget the name.
I think it was King Gothra, I think his name is.
You want me to check?
No, it's okay. I'll put it in, like, the picture. I'll put a picture of him and what he is in the video when I edit it. Yeah. So this sounds great to me. This sounds like it's gonna be like real Godzilla.
Yeah. Godzilla, the first movie. Like I said, I liked it, but
I liked it
so much more.
Yeah. I think it had so much potential, and it was a good movie in my opinion. But it had the potential to be like his ultimate, like, best Godzilla fight we've ever seen, and, you know, best Godzilla movie we've ever seen, but it kind of was, and it kind of wasn't, you know, like, after I saw it, I was like, that was really cool, but I'm just not sure, you know?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, and, right, I'm kind of speechless about the, what do you call it, the new Godzilla movie, because it's such a new idea.
Yeah. I've seen the original Rodan movie, and that was cool.
Oh, it's the one where no, it's the one where he's in the big suit. And then,
yeah.
Well,
so that's the only one I really know about. I know what Mothra is.
Mhm.
But I still don't really care about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go on.
So the next thing we have to talk about kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about here is
Skull Island.
Yeah, Skull Island, the new King Kong reboot that Legendary Warner Brothers is making, I think. Either one of them. And they're saying, it may be in the same universe with Godzilla. And they may make a Godzilla versus King Kong movie. So, you know, this could be really cool, but I do have one problem with it, is that Godzilla is way bigger than King Kong. Like, he could literally just eat him.
Yeah, that's well, don't forget that the Skull Island is actually a reboot.
Yeah.
So they can. Yeah, go ahead.
Skull Island isn't going to be like Skull Island itself isn't going to have Godzilla in it, but they're probably planning something down later.
The reason that they're saying it could tie in with each other is because they're both legendary.
Yeah.
Oh, breaking news right now. Guardians of the Galaxy hits $38 million on Friday. Just let you know.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really good. I'm glad. Yay! Are you clapping?
Just a quick appreciation for Guardians of the Galaxy.
That beautiful movie.
Moment of silence. Okay, moment of silence is done.
Okay. So, this sounds cool, but I don't know how they're gonna make them fight unless they don't.
I mean, the fighting in Godzilla was very realistic.
It was really good and it was realistic, but
Like-
I just wanted so much more.
I like the fighting in Pacific Rim better.
Oh,
But that doesn't mean I didn't like the fighting in Godzilla. It's just that the fighting in Godzilla doesn't feel like it paid off from all the teasing.
Pacific Rim was like probably my favorite movie last year, and like
Yeah.
well, I know it wasn't the best movie last year, but I just enjoyed it the most.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
If they could replicate action like that with Godzilla, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and Godzilla is a very hard idea and or movie to, I guess, kind of put into film.
Yeah,
I mean,
like they made it believable in the first movie by Gareth Edwards, the new one.
Yeah.
But if you throw in like all these characters at once, it's gonna be like, okay, I guess. You know? Yeah.
it's just, the problem with Godzilla is that number one, the technology exists now. I mean, the CGI,
Yeah.
it can be done very well.
Like it was in the new movie. It was amazing.
It was, but even the story was amazing in the new movie.
Yeah.
But there's a very big fine line between believability and like, well, not a fine line between believability, but like a fine line between trying to make it believable and just kind of letting your imagination go wild. You know what I mean? Like,
I would rather have something that's creative and more imaginative than something that's dark and gritty and more realistic. You know?
I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy, that was what was good about it. But
Yeah.
the Godzilla movies, that's not what they're supposed to be. They're not
know.
supposed to be realistic. They can be dark, but they're not supposed to be realistic.
Yeah.
And that's something else they could do with the next movie. They could just kind of go all out.
Yeah. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Yeah. You said it perfect. So the next thing, since we're already kind of talking about Pacific Rim, now
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the Oculus video game for Pacific Rim Jaeger Pilot, which sounds amazing.
Now, this is something that you have to talk about, not me, because I really don't know about it.
Okay, so basically what it was at Comic-Con, they showed it off where you could stand on a line for a couple hours, okay, and then you'd sit in a chair and they'd put the Oculus. If you don't know what that is, it's like this big...
The Oculus Rift?
Yeah, the Oculus Rift. I'll put like a description or a picture on the screen for people who don't know what it is. So you put it on your face and you can look around and okay, I'm not gonna try it now, but like I said,
Yeah.
and it's basically you are a Jaeger pilot and you're inside a Jaeger, the giant robots from Pacific Rim, and you're like controlling it and you're fighting monsters. And now there's no footage of the actual gameplay, but everyone who has tried it is saying it's completely amazing and the graphics are incredible. So that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, that could be something very special, but it's just virtual reality.
Yeah.
And that's something that's not going to hit the markets. Like, Oculus Rift, I think it's hit the markets, but it's not like something that's going to truly have, like, a really big impact and going to be available to all audiences in a very long time.
People aren't going to be getting these for their 10-year-old kid for Christmas, because they're probably going to be expensive as hell. And
They're in the thousands, I'm sure.
okay, maybe not thousands, but probably like $500 to $600. Whereas you could just get like a new console.
Yeah. Let me check how much an Oculus Rift is.
I'll cut.
Like, well, no, you don't have to. We
Okay,
can talk
okay,
about
okay,
it while
yeah,
I'm doing it. But
Yeah.
for now, the Oculus Rift is such a new technology.
I think people just need to know more about it before it become a mainstream thing.
Yeah.
Like, people need to know that there's going to be a huge market for them to buy games for it, and it's not just going to, like, there's going to be 5 games come out and then you're going to have nothing to do,
Just letting you know, the Oculus Rift is $350.
We were way off.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So,
Alright.
like, does that sum it up about the Pacific Rim Oculus stuff?
Yeah, okay, we basically summed that up. Okay.
Is there anything else you know more about it than I do? Is there anything else that we haven't touched on?
No, that's basically it. Well, there is one thing. Duncan Jones, the director of the new World of Warcraft movie, and Moon and Source Code, which I really both like, he played it and he said it was phenomenal. And he's a huge gamer, so there's one big celebrity saying that it is amazing. So if you want to trust that.
Yeah, I can't wait to wrap that up, I can't wait until it hits the markets. I'm sure it's going to be revolutionary, and I'm sure that a lot of 9-year-olds are going to be happy on Christmas Day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We basically just changed because we changed our complete opinion because we didn't know how much it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one last thing before we talk about so as I was saying, there's one last thing when you talk about that wasn't Comic-Con before we talk about the real not Comic-Con news, and I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Wait, say that again? What I want to guess, so...
Well, I'll make you guess once I finish this, okay? So, James Gunn just said that, recently he said that he doesn't like Nova, okay? Someone just died in my house, okay?
Just another day.
just another day in my home. And, he says he doesn't like Nova, the character Nova. He didn't really specify if he doesn't like Richard Rider or Sam Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
But, so, I'm guessing we shouldn't get our hopes up if we ever want to see a Nova or Guardians of the Galaxy movie, sadly, because I really like Nova.
I can't really give an opinion on this because Nova's such an underrated character. And not many people know about Nova. I mean,
I know.
And Nova's been around for a while. I'm pretty sure since like September '76 he's been around.
Yeah, I know it's somewhere from the 70s.
Yeah, and to be honest, wait a minute. From what I'm actually trying to remember, IGN created a top 100 comic book heroes of all time, and Nova was 98 on that list. And he is someone that you can make a really good movie with.
I know, because he's basically the Green Lantern of Marvel. But
yeah,
I personally think he's better. I love Nova. I think I like Richard Rider a little bit more than Sam Alexander.
Yeah, he's a great character. Nova's a great character, and I hope to God that James Gunn does not underuse him.
I know. Like, I hope they put him in there some way. They already got the Nova Corps done well. Like, it doesn't even have to be James Gunn directing it. I want somebody, just something of Nova, you know?
Yeah. Nova is. He's not as hard to do as the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know, because he's basically like an Iron Man type of. He's kind of similar to Iron Man, if like in looks and what he can do. So
yeah,
you know.
I feel like if James Gunn listen to the fans, which I'm pretty sure he does.
He for sure does. He answered my tweet the other day. I will put the tweet on the screen. I asked him a question through a news thing, and he answered it. So obviously he does.
Yeah, and if fans really say, "Come on, we want a Nova movie. You're a great director," I feel like he would make it his priority. Involve his time, spend all his time learning about Nova and learning about the source material, and he really could potentially direct a great movie about Nova. It's just that he doesn't really want to.
See, we don't. I would want a solo Nova movie, but it's not like we completely need it. You know, like we could merge like a Nova movie and a Guardians movie like into one movie, you know.
Guardians right now is so new. I love how we're Guardians just came out and we're thinking about Guardians too. Nova, Avengers crossover, but that's just how fans are. And right now, everyone needs to understand that when the new thing comes out, we have to know, or we have to want something new.
Yeah, we have to speculate.
Exactly, and Nova is just something else that could happen. Even if James Gunn doesn't direct it, I'm sure Nova will eventually happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel has a movie. Yeah? Go ahead.
Okay, I feel like they've already gone so far with Nova Corps in Guardians of the Galaxy that it would be kind of weird if they skipped over it. Like, imagine this, guys, okay? So let's say they make a Justice League movie. Green Lantern isn't in it, but the Green Lantern Corps is. That would be really weird, right? And they did, and if they don't show up Nova in some movie, that's how it's gonna be with Marvel. So, you know. That's honestly a great way to look at it, and I'm sure that's how it'll be. It's just that Green Lantern and Nova aren't, like, in terms of a league of how much they're known, Green Lantern succeeds, and I think that's why they're not giving a lot of attention to Nova. Yeah. They're very similar, but, you know, Green Lantern would probably... More people know Green Lantern over Nova.
Overall, although he said he doesn't like Nova, it doesn't mean it can never happen. I mean, this is very different, actually, but a lot of the fans don't like The Dark Knight Returns because of how Superman's portrayed.
Yep.
But then again, Batman v Superman is happening. We all know Batman's gonna win.
I mean, even if they fight though, I'm not even sure if they are gonna fight.
They will.
Yeah, they will most likely do that Dark Knight Returns fight. But I
don't. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just died. Sorry. I'm trying to think of what I was gonna say. I don't want them to just make Superman was so strong in the first film. I feel like if they just, make him super weak in this film, just because they want to make the Batman fans go crazy, I feel like it won't be good for the universe. It'd be kind of like, why are they doing that? I'd be like, great, they have to put Batman in again.
Yeah, and wait a minute. Before this, what were we talking about? We were talking about Noah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the fans are like annoyed that Batman beat Superman in that comic book, and now they're making a bit of a movie about it. But the problem is that they don't really care all that much. I mean, because the fans are still gonna like it regardless. Oh. So why not? But with Nova, it's a little different than that.
Yeah.
I just completely went against my opinion.
Mm.
I said it's a good thing and a bad thing, and yeah.
Yeah, we're a little bit of information on us. We're a little bit retarded. Okay.
Yeah, you'll get used to it in future episodes to come.
We can't put our finger on it, but there's something wrong with us.
We could put our toe on it, but not our finger.
Oh yeah, because we're retarded. Okay.
Why not?
Okay, so the last thing we need to talk about, which is not Comic-Con related.
The last thing, or are we just gonna say the last thing and then we're gonna say another last thing?
I think this is the last thing, unless you remember something.
No,
I didn't. So I'm gonna make you guess what it is.